What's up, Epic 7? TristenWulf here, and the otherworldly hunts are upon us. Hunts have changed, and for the better, for the easier, for a lot of people. What used to be hard is now hell. What used to be hell is now otherworldly, and by that, I mean, for those of you who are around for it, otherworldly hunts are basically the equivalent of Hunt 13s, and hell hunts are basically the equivalent of Hunt 11. It makes all of the farmable hell stages easier, and otherworldly is basically the same difficulty as what hell used to be, but they made it easier by removing stage 1. But this has created a small problem. People that want to come in and farm these, well, you only have five unit or gear slot. You only have 5 team slots, and you know, if you want to build a team to farm hell, it may be different than the team to farm otherworldly because the fights are set up differently. So I got you on this one. We're going to go over teams for all of the hunts that will 100% success rate, one shot or extremely close to one shot, kill every single one of these without changing your teams in both hell and otherworldly. We're going to start with CAIDES. So we'll do the CAIDES Hell first, okay? This is the farmable, no otherworldly gear version. Your fastest unit is going to be Galililius. Galililius, you want to make sure she goes first. To outspeed the Symmachus, you're going to need to be a little bit over 220 speed. So I got mine at 223. That's working great. She needs to have the chops to one-shot that Symmachus. So I have stacked Torrent and Speed set on her. I'm giving her Daydream Joker to do additional damage. And that's it. Just build a pipe swinging, hard hitting Galililius. Next fastest unit on the team at 178 speed, and the speed tuning is kind of important. Less for this one because we've got the crit coming in from Gala to help push Seedom up, but in other places you're going to wonder about this 178 speed. She only needs 50% crit chance because remember, she gives herself a crit chance buff. A good chunk of damage on her. It helps every little bit, but she's not your principal damage dealer, so don't worry about going nuts on Challenger Dominial's damage. You want her on her number 3 exclusive equipment. This allows her to give an AoE attack buff along with the crit chance buff. So Seedom now attack buffs, crit chance buffs, and CR pushes, and it's what makes her one of the new goddesses of PvE. You guys are going to see this girl a lot, I think. Got her on Warhorn for some extra damage, and that's about it. Next tuned into the team is going to be Strays. I'm running my standard DPS Strays. You could run them a little slower than this. The 155 speed certainly isn't required. I just like that for use in art or in arena and guild wars, but you could run him a lot slower and still have this work. I've got him on Torrent and Destruction set. You most certainly can run him on Rage set. You most certainly can run him on Triple Torrent set. All those things are potentially better, but hey, like I said, I used this guy in Guild Wars and Arena, and I wanted him to just work, and my Triple Torrent gear, it isn't so hot. So this is what I got. And Daydream Joker for the damage dealing artifact. Third in line, and again, speed tuning is important. You do not want this girl too slow at 140 speed. The 140 speed is, I think we could go as slow as 138, but that's pushing it. I wouldn't go slower than 138, or Seedom's push will not shove Lilibet ahead of the CAIDES when you do this on Otherworldly. So make sure you've got her speed tuned properly. 140 speed and above. She only needs 50% crit chance because she gets the buff. And I want to remind you that for those of you guys saying that, oh, I can't build the Strays, Seedom gives him a 50% crit chance buff. And if you turn Seedom's imprint on, that's an additional 12% crit chance. You can legitimately build your Strays and your Lilibet at 38% crit chance, and they will work. So those of you saying, I can't hit these gear points, I can't build this strong, try building it with 38% crit chance and just punch the rest into crit attack and crit damage and see how good you can get it. You'll be surprised. You do not need crit chance on these units with Seedom on the team. I've got her on her number 3 exclusive equipment just to give extra damage to her Soul Cutter, and Daydream Joker, of course, is my damage dealing artifact. I was able to pull off Triple Torrent on my Lilibet. Destruction Torrent would work just fine. As for a pet, all of the hunt pets have been retooled to be hunt, otherworldly hunt, and otherworldly breach pets. So there are no new pet skills, no special pets. You don't have to do anything crazy. Just use your normal hunt pets. Let's jump in this fight and see how it goes. All right, guys, everybody's skills are on. At the start of the fight, Gala is going to one-shot this Symmachus. Bam! If you don't one-shot the Symmachus, retool and make your Gala stronger. Next round, she's going to do an attack that's going to CR push our CDOM up. CDOM's going to use her S3, which attack buffs, crit buffs, and CR pushes the whole team. She does a little S1 for some damage, strays, draws back, and cuts the planet in half, doing significant damage to the CAIDES. Lilibet comes in with her S2, and then does her S3, which finishes the CAIDES off with authority. And there you go, guys. 100% no fail one shot. There's legitimately no way for this team to fail. If CDOM dual attacked with anybody on the team, it would just facilitate the kill even faster. No RNG, 100% success rate. But what if you want to do this on the otherworldly level? I'm going to yield at the last minute so I don't waste the one soul core, spectral core I have left, because these things are damn expensive. But you will be able to see that this does full clear. So here we go again. There is no start phase with Symmachus. So everybody's skills are on again. Gala goes straight in, doing significant damage, CR pushing your CDOM up, so CDOM cuts. CDOM uses her skill 3, which CR pushes the whole team. Now you see where Lilibet is? I'm going to turn auto off here real quick. I want you guys to see where Lilibet is. You see 94%. Wasn't a lot of wiggle room here. This is actually pretty good speed RNG, 89%, so I think about as close as I've got. But at 140 speed, I think you could get her down to 138 speed and still reliably cut. But if you go slower than that, you're going to risk CAIDES cutting and stripping attack buff. So that's why you want that 178 or 140 speed on Lilibet, is so that CDOM's push happens. We'll turn auto back on. Strays is going to drop his massive planet slicing sword across the CAIDES head, taking the damage down. A little bit comes in with her S2 into her S3, and we get ready to stop it. You'll see the word extinct appear over the CAIDES, and that's how you know he died, because extinction only happens when Lilibet kills, and there was your extinction. So that is a 100% no fail, full clear of CAIDES, and it works for either hunt, otherworldly or basic. Now let's move on to AZIMANAK hunt. Okay, for this team, we'll be running Vivian, Furious, Watcher Shuri, and Lilibet. The reason I'm running Furious, and it's a level 40 Furious, is my CDOM was too fast. My Vivian wouldn't cut my CDOM, so I needed a separate way to get that crit chance buff onto my Lilibet to make her work. Now, you can, of course, run Strays in place of Lilibet. That works fine, but I wanted to use Lilibet where I could because she's fun, but I needed a way to get her crit chance up, so I put Furious on the team for that. Now, if your Lilibet has enough crit chance, you could also just run Midnight Bloom on somebody. That would work fine, too. Let's go over the details on this. So, first things first, Vivian. Now, if your Vivian is faster than mine and you're able to cut your CDOM, then by all means, just run CDOM for your crit chance buff, or run Strays and call it a day. There's a lot of ways to beat this team. Now, my Vivian is overtooled. She has got way more damage than required, but she is built with a purpose. My Vivian is built with this high damage to be able to do adventure mode for farming AP while I'm friendship farming 2 units. So she is built to that purpose, and that's why she is way overtooled on damage. You do not need anywhere near this much damage on your Vivian. But if you want to run this team, 100% crit chance, much damage you can give her, faster than 220 speed. I've got her on time matter so that she will be able to cycle around inside of the break phase to be able to pop the eggs in there. Got her on her number 2 exclusive equipment, so she gives herself the 50% CR push, so she's got a chance to cut and lap. Next on the team is going to be Furious. Hey, I just grabbed a level 40 Furious. I didn't even awaken him. I didn't put any skill ups into him. I just grabbed one out of my storage and slapped gear on him. That's it. He is tuned in at 148 speed. That is exactly 5.5% faster than my Lilibet, so he will definitely go first and give the crit chance buff to my Lilibet so she will not miss her crit. Watcher Shuri is hanging out here at 140 speed. He will go second. No, he will go last because everybody else is getting a speed imprint, and that's fine. Same Watcher Shuri ran in the CAIDES fight. just as nuclear as you can get him. I've got him on Daydream Joker. His exclusive equipment does not matter. Destruction and Torrent set with a 50% crit buff from Furious and a 15% advantage. You can literally run this guy at 35% crit chance and get away with it. So consider, if you don't have the gear to get the high stats, dropping the crit and relying on the buff from Furious. And of course, the same Lilibet we ran before. She could be as low as 40% crit chance. I get a 10% crit chance imprint from Furious plus the 50% crit chance buff. Crit chance is not an issue. You can work around it. Mine is got high crit chance because that's just how the gear landed. 140 speed puts her exactly 5% behind Furious. Daydream Joker for an artifact number 3 exclusive equipment for extra damage. Let's go. Hunt buff bet. Hunt buff. Hunt pet in place. Hunt pet in place. Let's do the fight. Now at the start of the fight, Vivian's going to S3. Everybody's skills are on it. Vivian's going to S3. It gives immunity and attack buff to everybody. That will keep any of these poisons from sticking, which is important. You don't want to take too much damage. Vivian's going to S2. After she laps around, that's going to murder the back 2 and then kill the front 1, push us into phase 2. Because she's on time matter, she's going to be able to S2 again on her turn, and that'll take care of these eggs. Eggs are dead. That's going to push us into Furious's turn. He crit chance buffs everybody. Lilibet drops her S3 into her S2 into her S3. And you know what? Watcher was a cheerleader. Watcher didn't even need to be here for this fight, but if you didn't do enough damage, Watcher finishes it off. So definitely can go lower gear on this one and get away with it. But how does it handle the Otherworldly Hunt? Exact same team into Otherworldly. Again, I will yield right before the kill because I don't want to run out. There is no stage 1. So you're going to eat some poisons. It'll do some damage. Vivian's going to S3, give everyone an attack buff. Furious is going to give the crit chance buff to everybody. Vivian does an attack, gets rid of the eggs. Lilibet drops her attack in, activating her S3, does a chunk of damage. And then Watcher is here to finish things off. Strays would also work. There you guys go. Same team, both hunts. And now for the Banshee team. I am really excited about this Banshee team. I want to give a big shout out to the brain trust over in the Car 6 Discord. Anori and Drac really helped me put together some neat ideas for this team. So I think you guys are going to love this. So for Banshee on Hell, this is the team we're going to use. That's right. It is a 3-man team. In that third slot, you can put anybody you want to friendship farm. Just make sure they don't give an attack imprint or anything that could mess up the speed tuning of this team because it is crackerjack. Now, you can run Vivian in place of Pavel or Green Charles in place of Pavel as long as they are fast enough and can wipe the mobs right at the start. The important thing is the attack buff and that you one-shot the mobs. Vivian attacks, laps around, and does her thing. Charles S3 wipes the mobs, but Pavel is probably one of the easiest to build. You do not need to do a ton of damage with Pavel. His damage is very tuned. The entire thing about Banshee is speed tuning and damage tuning. You don't want to do too much damage, but also not too little. Here's how the units are built. This is my green Pavel. He is way over speed, way over speed. You could do 25 less speed and this would work just fine. He just needs to go before the round 1 adds so he can wipe them before they get a chance to kill anybody on your team, predominantly Leah. Other than that, he needs 85% crit chance because elemental advantage. I've got him on his number 2 exclusive equipment so that he grants attack to the ally except for the caster with the highest attack for 2 turns. That's important. We want to make sure that our Lilibet gets the attack buff. I've got him on Daydream Joker. You can tinker around with different artifacts to attack tune this. If he's doing not enough damage to the adds, but too much damage to the Banshee, you could try Tonfa or Symbol of Unity. You can tinker around with different artifacts to tune this guy in. You can turn his imprint on or off to attack tune him in. Find the best way to run your Pavel. Next, we're going to run the same Lilibet we've been running at 140 speed. She has got plenty of ass to take this out. Triple Torrent set again, 85% crit chance because she 85% crit chance because we are earth into water. Now, if you're using a low crit chance Lilibet, Go whip out that level 40 Furious we talked about earlier and have him go right after everybody else goes, but right before Lilibet goes, so he can give that crit chance buff, especially if you don't awaken him, or he will only S2 and will not go into the S3, so you don't have to worry about him bringing any more damage. So it's nice to have him not even be awakened if you need him for the crit chance. You can totally do that. And the one who pulls it all together, Leah. We needed just a little bit more damage, guys, a little bit more damage, and Leah has got a destruction buff, a crit damage buff in her kit, and her S1 does not trigger a dual attack while she's wearing a buff, so there's no chance of her S1 creating a dual attack which will brick the run. And that's always been one of the boogeymen of this, is that 3% chance to dual attack pushing the Wyvern or pushing the Banshee into splitting. You don't get that with Leah. Watch how clean this is, guys. Watch how clean this is. So at the start of the fight, everybody's skills are on. Green Pavel does his S2, kills everything. On to second stage. Green Pavel does his S3. Watch the damage on the Banshee. Remember, if you go below this 70% hash mark right here, then you push phase. She does her S3 because she's got like no gear on when she does the S1. So close, so perfectly tuned. Lilibet way overkills the Banshee. I mean, good God, way overkills. So you can lower their damage a little bit if you're over damaging with your Pavel. That would work fine. Well, let's go check out the exact same team into the Otherworldly Banshee. Again, same 3-man team. Furious can be there if you need the crit chance buff. So we just do our S3, gives the attack buff to Lilibet. We get hit. We give the destruction buff to Lilibet. Lilibet, oh yeah, this happens. And then Lilibet does her S2, does a chunk of damage. Then she goes into her S3. Clean. And there you guys go. I had to yield there so that we didn't use our core. Now let's talk about the Golem hunt, guys. Golem hunt. So here we go, guys. Exact same thing we did before. Now, if you don't have strays, you could use Watcher Shuri, but you're going to need to have somebody in there who can help clear the trash mobs at the start. So get your Vivian or your Pavel, or somebody back online that can take out the starter mobs. Vivian's probably your best bet, but I wanted to show you a 3-man option. A lot of you guys picked up strays from the boss selector. I want to show you ways to use him. So same units as before. The same CDOM we used in CAIDES. She has got 50% crit chance. I've got her on Warhorn. I got her on her number 3 exclusive equipment to attack buff the entire team. Speed tuned in perfectly at 178 speed so that she cuts everywhere I need her to cut. Destro pen set ready to go. We're going to run the same designer Lilibet we've been running this entire time. Again, she only needs about 38% crit chance when CDOM or Furious are on the team because they're giving her that crit chance buff and that imprint. So if you can't quite hit these damage stats, just drop her crit to the floor and put crit chance and use crit chance imprints to take it the rest of the way there. Daydream Joker, her number 3 exclusive equipment for extra damage. Destruction and Torrent would work fine too, but I like the triple Torrent for this run. And strays. My normal PvP strays, I did put them on Daydream Joker for this fight. He could be as low as 38% crit chance, guys, because you've got CDOM on the team. So if you can't hit these stats at 100% crit, hit them at 38% crit. You do not need a ton of crit chance to cleaving anymore, not with CDOM in play. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And the third space we can leave open. If you're struggling for damage, put a naked unit in there with a damage boosting artifact like Super Duper Water Gun Shooter or Warhorn, and it'll take you the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and run this into Golem. So this is the normal Hell Mode Golem. CDOM is going to CR push the whole team up. This way, nobody kills any of your units. We're going to kill that B. We're going to S3. Murder Stomp the turtles, and we're on to phase 2. Now you're like, oh, but Strays just used this skill. What are we going to cleave with? Guys, trust. Lilibet is so heckin' strong. Watch this hit. Into her S3. By Colossus. And if that's not quite killing, that 4th slot, slap Fire Sirmia. Slap Watcher Shuri. Slap somebody else who can help clean up if you're struggling with the damage. It is a very easy access team to run. But what about the Otherworldly team? Well, let's go ahead and try this exact same team on Otherworldly Golem. Let's go. CDOM CR pushes everybody up, so everybody's in order, does a little pop, but this time Strays gets to drop his S3 into the Golem, taking the majority of the HP bar down. Lilibet goes into her S2 and then into her S3, and it is 12 different kinds of dead. And again, you could add Watcher Shuri to the team if you are lacking the damage just to finish it off. Golem is one of the easiest ones to farm. Again, if you don't have Strays, you could run Sirmia, you could run Watcher Shuri, you could run anyone else to assist with the damage. Okay, guys, that's all of the ancillary hunts. All we have left is Wyvern. Best part is, like all the other teams, one team works in Hell and in Otherworldly Hunt. So we're going to start with Hell, and here it is, guys. How free to play is this? Are you kidding me? We've got Brig. This is our standard expedition Brig. Nothing fancy about this Brig. The same way I've built them in every expo video out there. You can run them on a different artifact if you want to bring more damage. 175 speed tunes him in perfectly for this, as well as expeditions. He only needs 85% crit chance. Next, we're going to run Yuna. That's right, it's Yuna at 186 speed. It's nice if she goes first, but it is certainly not required. If she goes first, she gets an attack buff to Clarissa, makes it a little easier to clear the front stage mobs. But even without that attack buff, if Clarissa goes first, this still 100% full clears. Even without the defense break, I've checked it. The damage tuning is perfect. You want some damage on her. The effect resistance is totally not necessary. I've got the ER there just to make her more efficient in expeditions. I like her on her Otherworldly Machine artifact, extra damage. And the S2, you know what? She never uses the skill, so it doesn't matter. Next, we are going to be running Clarissa. Clarissa is god tier in this. She puts out so many debuffs, it is damn near statistically impossible to fail in this. I've got her on her number 2 EE to increase the damage dealt by Hysterics. That makes it easier to clear the trash mobs on Hell. Daydream Joker, again, you can experiment with other artifacts. You experiment with Tonfa, Symbol of Unity. If you're having trouble clearing the stage 1 mobs, those might work out better for you. 85% crit chance, much damage you can get. 65% effectiveness. 65% effectiveness, because you want her to have her best shot to stick debuffs. It's what adds the stability to this team. And Sigrid, the one who brings it all together, just a standard rage set Sigrid. She is not that impressively appointed. I think this is a pretty reasonable Sigrid. She's not on pen set. She only has 4,500 attack, 342 crit damage. Remember, crit damage more important than attack when talking about Daydream Joker. You always want to stack your crit damage as high as possible. I've got her on her number 2 EE, increased chance to inflict bleeds, and 65% effectiveness. Again, making this more stable by having more debuffs. Now, one of the nice things is you only have to worry about those debuffs for Otherworldly. This is effectively Wyvern 11. Debuffs don't matter. Wyvern will always hit Brig. No matter how many debuffs you do or don't have, you don't have to worry about the debuffs on this team to keep Wyvern focused on Brig. He will only hit Brig, and the debuffs are there just there to make things go along a little bit faster to activate the rage set on Sigrid. Let's see how this goes. So at the start of the fight, Clarissa or Yuna will go first. In this case, Clarissa goes first. Now, we did not get a defense break on the forward Sneck. That's the highest HP and no defense break. You will notice Yuna is still able to kill that Sneck. So make sure, no matter which combination, which order they go in, that you're able to kill everything with Yuna. We did not get a defense break there. We did not get a debuff here. Brig, hopefully he gets a defense break. If he doesn't, this will still work. It'll just be a little slower. You know what? Perfect. We got 15%ed, and that's perfect. I wanted you to see what this is like on a worst case scenario. Sigrid's going to do her S2 and then we're going to, oh, there's our defense break, pushes around. We get the giant space panty laser cannon. This thing would already be dead now if we got the defense break and Sigrid just one-shot it. But I wanted to show you guys that this is very, very safe. There really is no way for this team to fail in normal hunts. There's just too much damage for this little hell mode wyvern to handle it coming in from these units. But what about otherworldly? Now, otherworldly is where debuffs matter. But since we don't have the forward stage to contend with, we go straight in with all of our debuffs. That is 3 chances to debuff from Clarissa, a 4th chance to debuff from Brieg. And if no debuffs are stuck, you get 2 debuffs from Sigrid. So it is statistically incredibly unlikely that you won't stick at least 2 of those 6 debuffs. And if you don't, and if the wyvern hits anybody, everybody here should be able to take 1 round of hits from the wyvern. You can change your artifact on Brieg to Arius if you really want to kick that up a notch. You can also swap Brieg out for Bossarunka if you really want to go nuts with it. You're removing your defense break, but you're basically making your team immortal with Bossarunka. Those are all options, but I want to go kind of free to play on this one because this is a sexy team, and it makes the free to play and the pay to win basically the same. So we're going to go into the otherworldly fight. Everybody's skills are on. The wyvern will always target Brieg first. And here we go with an attack buff and a speed buff for everybody from Yuna. A little bit of chip damage. We just got a random dual attack there. We get 3 chances to debuff. You only need 2 to stick. Hey, we only got 1. We get 1 chance to debuff here. That'll give us our 2 debuffs. See what I mean? And that's almost so unlikely that you don't get at least 2 debuffs here. Since we have debuffs, Sigurd will S3, doing a good chunk of damage. The wyvern will attack Brieg because of the debuffs. If there's only 1 debuff, because of the barriers from Brieg, the wyvern cannot kill in 1 round. So everybody survives. Then you get more debuffs on. And it's just too much damage. The wyvern can't stand against it. Giant space panty laser for the win. So 100% success rate, pretty stable 100% success rate with this team. If you are terrified of that 1 in 200 chance for RNG to screw you over, slap Bossarunka in the front and it cannot fail. All right, guys, what did we get? Yo, we got otherworldly gear. Unfortunately, it's hit set. Why is it always hit set? We got you know what, we're gonna run with it. We're gonna run with it. All right, guys, hopefully that helps you out. That is my hunt compendium for late 2025 for the new otherworldly hunt system for how to have 5 teams that can handle all hunts, hell, and otherworldly without having to move anything around. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. If you're struggling to build any of these, check the description of the video for the link to the free to play versions of these hunts. I'll catch you next time. Take care, Epic 7.